Namaskara, Harsha here. Welcome to Harsha Yoga. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about one of the most common things that all of you experience in life. One of the most troubling, nagging thing that you've been wanting to inculcate in your life for years and years together, but yet at the end of the day, you fail to implement it. What's that? Waking up early in the morning. I think waking up early in the morning is one of the most difficult thing most of you have been experiencing over the years, and in spite of motivating yourself, keeping alarms after alarms for days together, months together, you end up failing to develop this habit of wanting to waking up early in the morning. There are certain things that you can follow for you to start off with, so that in the coming months, in the coming years, in the coming weeks, you'll be able to start with this habit of, starting your day with a lot of intense energy. One of the most common thing that I do every single day for me to make sure I wake up the following morning with a lot of intense energy and feel fresh and feel awake is the previous night I finish my dinner at least 3 hours to 4 hours before I fall asleep. And usually the dinner happens at 6:30 or 7 o'clock. And by the time you go to bed, it'll be 10. And by nature, your body has the ability to put you to sleep 3 hours after you eat food, especially after a long day of work. There's one habit that I follow consistently, and the following morning, there make sure you have at least one kind of routine, be it yoga, be it a workout, be it a run. There has to be some kind of physical stimulation that the body needs to get, because if it's not happening, if you're just keeping the body, by not giving it the food that it needs and you're just feeding the food for the stomach, the body just becomes, what can you say, it becomes lazy over the span of time. So some sort of physical exercise, at least 20 minutes every single day, or 1 hour alternate days, or 1.5 hours twice a week, it's a must. By practicing this, what happens, all the nerves and the muscles become alive. By not practicing this for years together, not doing any kind of physical practice, and the body kind of goes into slumber. I mean, it just becomes lazy, and by time further complications starts to happen. And if you have sort of routine like a workout or a practice of yoga, or you go for cycling, whatever it may be, once you start to do this, by the end of the day, when you complete your day, automatically you feel like, okay, the body is exhausted. You feel like you want to go to sleep, not just go to bed. I think most of you experience this. After going to bed, you take a lot of time to go to sleep. By regularly inculcating this habit of coming up with some sort of workout, some sort of practice with the physical body, it becomes easier for you to go to bed. Thirdly, respect and follow the biological clock. It's very, very important that all the meals that you have in a particular day is timed: breakfast, lunch, dinner. There has to be a particular routine. And this is not a discipline that you follow. It should be a way of life. There's no compulsion that you have to have breakfast at this time, lunch and dinner at a specified time. It's just that makes your life more simpler, and you become very, very, your mind becomes sharp. You become more goal oriented. You start developing focus towards the things you do, and lots of new ideas starts to come. Discipline throughout the day and planning the day, what exactly you're going to do on that particular day. Not planning your day and just living the day as it goes just makes life more miserable. You have to plan your day. What are the things that you're going to do that particular day? Once you start planning the day, what happens? The system here starts to work. By default, when you wake up, it's awake. And by the time you finish your task, it says, okay, now it's time to go to rest. See, these are very, very small things that may seem obvious for you, but this is one of the best things that's going to bring a humongous change once you start practicing it. And most importantly, after you end the day, say by at 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the evening, make sure you contemplate on what happened on that particular day. This is very, very important. See how productive it was. What was the best things about the day? And did you accomplish every task that you actually set for that particular day? And decide the agenda, decide what you want to do for the next day. By doing this, what happens? You start training your system. Most of the times, even of the best teachers or the students or whomever it may be who've lived their life for decades together, they fail to inculcate and implement this in their life. What happens? A big question mark starts to come every day when you wake up. Okay, what do I do? What do I do? What's the meaning of life? Where am I? Where am I? Where is my life even leading me to? All these sorts of questions starts to come into your mind. What happens? If you start your day with n number of questions and not having any defined task for that particular day and looking to achieve the results, desired results, you get lost. These may seem very, very simple, but when you follow these, having a proper sleeping habit, having a proper time for the meal, if it's 3 times a day or 4 times a day, knowing what are the tasks that you have to do on that particular day, and most importantly, having some sort of physical routine, physical practice like a yoga or meditation or a cycling or workout, whatever it may be, and ending the day by sitting, contemplating, and seeing, okay, what exactly was the most fruitful moment of that particular day. Lastly, but not the least, after you've done all this, at the end of the day, take time for yourself. Spend 10-15 minutes with yourself. Just close your eyes, sit down, forget about everything that happened on that particular day, and before you go to bed, make sure that you disconnect and disengage and completely let go of everything that happened on that particular day, and then you fall asleep. This is what 99% of the people fail in doing. Before they end their day, they carry forward everything that happened to their sleep, and then that's carry forward again to the next day, and then so on and so forth. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. There's one thing that I do every single day. Before I go to bed, I sit, I meditate for half an hour. It doesn't matter even if you fall asleep. Most of the times, at least for the first couple of years, within 5-10 minutes of even you sitting on the bed, you would have just fallen asleep. Doesn't matter. You start with 10 minutes, you start with 15 minutes, and then prolong it to 30 minutes. This is one of the biggest secrets that not many share. But when you start this habit of taking a 30 minutes break before you fall asleep, the next morning, you have no idea how much of energy and how much of freshness you're going to feel. I mean, imagine waking up with this freshness, waking up with this new wave of energy with new every single day. Every single day. How are you going to feel? Don't you want this? Everyone wants. So try practicing these 6 things which I've just mentioned to you. It's very, very effective if you practice it consistently over a span of a couple of weeks. And by default, by nature, you'll start waking up early in the morning. You don't even have to think twice, okay, I have to wake up early morning the following day, so should I keep an alarm? The system starts to train itself. Like how you have autocorrection on the phone, the same way the body, the mind, and the intellect has this autocorrection within itself. We just have to feed it first. You haven't fed it the right information. When you haven't fed it the right information, how can it? How will it function? You have to feed it. You came empty onto this earth. You have to feed the information and then see, and then the body and the mind processes it, and then it gives the result. If you don't feed it the right amount of information and the right information that it needs, it just takes its own way. And then it becomes more miserable. I forgot one last thing. Have a specified time in that particular day where you end the usage of the phone. It's very, very essential. Never ever take the phone to the bed. I myself stay away from the phone at least 3 hours before I go to bed. I end the day by like 6:30 or maximum 7 o'clock. That's it. The phone is off or it's on airplane mode, or even if it's turned upside down, that's it. That your day ends with respect to the communication with the outside world on that particular time. This is very, very essential. If you don't end your day from the outside world and till the nth moment of you going to the bed, you just keep on looking at the phone, when are you even going to connect yourself? You're just connecting yourself so deeply with the external world, you forget to connect to yourself. What happens? You carry forward everything that you saw on the phone of the outside world back to the sleep and into the subconscious mind. And the next day you wake up more anxious, more frustrated, with more lost. Imagine reading something motivational every day before you go to bed, something creative, something that makes you feel more alive. The next day when you wake up, you'll have a lot of energy. In spite of this, every day when you wake up, every day before you go to bed, you end up seeing things that are not at all relevant for you or your long-term goal, and you end up spending 1 or 2 hours over there before you go to bed. How is the quality of the sleep going to improve? How is the quality of the life going to improve? How is the energy throughout the day is going to improve? Think about these things and practice these things and let me know how you felt in the comments below. If there's anything else you want me to share, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll try my best to share them as soon as possible. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.